Hello everyone. Good evening. As requested by many of the people, I have started a new series of SQL course that is for beginners. So in this, I am starting the module 1 of database, section 1. In this, I will discuss basic things related to database. So first of all, we will discuss what is data. So as you all know, data has a big demand nowadays. So data is basically raw facts and figures about any object. In simple words, data can be facts related to any object in consideration. For example, your name, age, height, weight, etc. are some data related to you. And if we consider e-commerce system, then data related to that is item in the cart and category of the items, like that, cards associated with the user. So these are the data. So like that, we have various kind of data, depends on the object we are considering. And what is database? Okay, so when we collect this data in an organized way, then that is known as a database. Suppose I keep the data related to you like name, age, height, weight, photograph, etc. in a student database, then it is called as belongs to student database. If I keep store this data in the employee, related to employee, then it is known as employee database. Okay, so basically a database is the collection of data in some organized way. So the they support electronic storage and manipulation of data. Let us discuss a database example. Like an university database contain data of students, faculty, courses, and classroom. Okay, so for example, if we consider student database, okay, a school database system. So in school database we have data related to teacher, student, and we have various courses in the school. And there are, for each course there are various classes, the various standards. And we, in school database, we maintain the attendance record of the students, so there is data related to attendance. And in uh, we also store the data related to examinations. And also there is a data related to available rooms. So like that, there is a vast database related to school system. Okay, so when we organize these data in some meaningful way, so that we retrieve them whenever it is whenever we require the relevant data, then that is known as database. So in old method we maintain the data, as you can see in this diagram. In file system we maintain the file for each and everything. Like there is student file. In student file we can further classify as science student file, art student file, similarly teachers file. So this is the old method of maintaining data of a any database system. But there are few drawbacks, like it's quite slow, it is difficult to retrieve information, difficult to update information when we maintain data in the file system. Then another system is introduced, which is known as database system, DBMS, database system. So that in database management system, using database management system, we maintain the data in organized way. That is, we store data in the form of tables. Like we maintain teacher table to store the data related to teacher. And teacher data can be further classified into various attributes or fields, like teacher id, teacher name, class id. Similarly, we can maintain student data in the student table, table mean, I mean we maintain the data in the tabular form, like student ID, student name, course due. So like that, we maintain the that we can maintain the database of a school system in various tables. So here I have taken the few example of such tables. So like that, depend on the how much data we want to store, we can have multiple table. So one advantage of database management system is it is easier to retrieve information from a database system, and easier to store information whenever required, as everything is stored in the form of table. So database system is nothing, it is a kind of electronic software system through which we can uh, do addition of records, addition of deletion of tables, updation of records in a database. So let's come back to the introduction section again. So here what I written is, a database is a systematic collection of data. They support electronic storage and manipulation of data. Database make data Databases make data management easy. Since data, it is very easy to manage the data in the database, so that's why we prefer database system, as everything is stored in the form of table, not in the form of file. So it is quite easy to access data from the database system. So here are the few terminology related to database system which you should know. Like, if we define these terms in the form of database way, so database is a collection of related table. So as you have seen in this example, in school, database contain the tables related to school entity, like teacher, student, courses, classes, attendance. So all these together form a database system, since it contain data tables related to school only. Okay, so what I have written here, it is a collection of related tables. Now what is table? A table is a collection of related data entries which further consist of rows and column. Okay, so as you can let's come back to the diagram again. So in this diagram, as you can see, in the teacher table, we store the information about the teacher. And in the student table, so teacher is one entity over here. In the student table, we store information about the students only, like student name, course which he have opted, date of birth, contact details of the student. So this, so table is what? Table is the collection of related entries. Okay, so if uh, in teacher table contain information about teacher only, in this we can't store information related to students. So that's what we mean by related entries. So here, this is the definition of table. A table is collection of related data entries which consist of rows and column, and each row treated as row, sorry, I have written here only, each row is treated as one record. Okay, record. Okay, so as you can see in this diagram, it, this is a example of student table. So in this student table, we are storing roll number in one column, name of the student in another, course in another third column, and location in the fourth column. So as you can see, each row contain the record of new student, one new student. Roll number 2 is another record of student. So row represent a record, and column represents the specific attribute of a student, specific information of a student related to student. So each row is known as record, and each column is known as attribute. Now question is, why we stored information in tables? In tabular form, as it is easy to maintain data and we can retrieve the data quickly, so that's why we prefer to store information in the tables rather than files. Suppose if someone nowadays, if you go to any school, and if you want to retrieve your information, they will quickly provide you the information related to you. Why? Because these are stored in some database management system. They simply uh, uh, feed your details, and in backend some queries executed through DBMS software, and they it give back your result. So it is very easy to retrieve, update, and delete information in a database table. So that's why we store information in the tables. So while earlier we store in long time back, we store in file system, so that is quite cumbersome to maintain the information in files. Okay, so what is DBMS? So since now we have information organized in the table, suppose you have maintained all the information related to let's come back to the diagram, related to school in the tables. Okay, you have collected all the information, but how to store these information in the computer? We need to store these information in some electronic media. So for that we need some software, computer software, through which we can add these information into the computer system. So that software is known as DBMS software. It is stands for database management system, and it is the collection of programs that enable its user to access data, basis, manipulate data, and reproduce meaningful report and represent data. It also helps to control access to the database. So this is all about database management system. So what are the key points related to DBMS? It is a software through which we can do CURD operation, that is we can create, retrieve, update and delete any information from the database. It is a software through which we can execute SQL queries, that we will discuss in the next section. What is SQL queries? It stands for structure query language, a language through which we communicate through database system. There are many DBMS softwares, like you must have heard Oracle, MySQL, Microsoft SQL Server, SQLite, and many. So these are the example of DBMS software. So query SQL queries are more or less same, only little bit basic differences. So that we will cover side by side. Otherwise things are similar. So this is all about DBMS. So this is all about the module 1 section 1. And let's summarize this, what we learn in this section. We learn what is data. It is collection of raw facts and figures related to any entity. Database is the collection of data in the meaningful way, in the organized way. So, and what is table? Database consists of related tables, and a table is the table store the information about a entity, any entity, like teacher table, student table. So it is basically collection of rows and columns. A row stores the records, or these are also known as tuple in RDBMS, and column represents one attribute of an object of which we are storing data. It feels like uh, teacher name is an attribute, teacher contact number is another attribute. So this is column. So this is all about the first uh, section of the module 1. And in the next section we will discuss introduction to SQL. We will we will learn how to uh, create tables, how to add records in the table, how to update records in the table, and how to delete records from the table in the next section. So thank you. Bye bye. So subscribe my channel to watch the next video so that you get notification about this video. Thank you. Bye bye.